next student council speaker is Brittany Kanan.
Welcome, fellow students, teachers, family, and friends. It's great to see all the people I've spent the last 3 years with all in one place. Now let me start by saying I don't want this to be all about me and my experiences. Every one of us all has our own stories to tell about our time at Hartford Memorial Middle School. So I'm going to do my best to say things that we'll all relate to. This brings me back to 6th grade. I was terrified of coming into this school, even though I'm obviously tall and intimidating. But then I got here and it was just so much fun. I was in Miss McKeever's homeroom, and I swear we were the coolest class ever. Because of being in that homeroom, I met Kenna Hausler, who it turns out I went to pre-K with at the White River School, and I hadn't seen since we were 5. In our homeroom, we were all so different. I'm surprised Miss McKeever didn't explode. And halfway through our 6th grade year, Mr. Garino became our social studies teacher. He was just supposed to be a long-term sub. We obviously didn't scare him enough, though, because he returned the following year. He actually came out of retirement to teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. What was this guy thinking? 7th grade brought us a new experimental multi-grade team, which we named Team Altitude. Why Team Altitude? Because on this team, your attitude determines your altitude. Now don't get me wrong, the summer going into 7th grade, when I found out I was going to spend the next 2 years in a class with 6th graders, well, I was not excited. But on the first day, I realized that I had nothing to be concerned about. Mrs. Forrest, Mrs. Bonnet, Mrs. Baker-Morris, and of course Mr. Garino created a great atmosphere for all of us. It was just so welcoming. Before long, we became a family. I know that sounds so cliche, but we really did become a family. Because, and I know I'm about to get dorky, but in a family, you really do love each other. And that's what we do on Team Altitude. On Team Altitude, our definition of love is 1, you like spending time together, 2, you will do your best to help one another when they're in need, and 3, you are willing to do just about anything to secure each other's well-being. Now, if that's not Team Altitude, I don't know what is. Another amazing part of middle school here was all the things you could choose to do. And much to my parents' dismay, I'm the kid who likes to be a part of everything. I've been playing soccer with the same group of girls every year since kindergarten. It was so great that we were all finally going to the same school instead of 3 separate elementary schools. We had the time of our lives on and off the field. One of my fondest memories is this year when the girls' soccer team made our own music video to the song What Makes You Beautiful. In the winter of my 7th grade year, I was often described as the Walking Dead because I got little sleep as I was playing the part of an orphan in Northern Stage's production of Annie. This leads me to possibly the one person not sorry to see me go, Miss Slayton. While I enjoyed being involved in every activity, I'm not the most organized person. Miss Slayton regularly has to chase me down because my mom was waiting to take me to a rehearsal or a matinee performance. Aside from a million other activities, my favorite has been the annual spring musical. In my 6th grade year, I was an ensemble member in Mulan Jr. By 7th grade, I earned the role of Miss Darbus, the crazy teacher in High School Musical Junior. Some might say I was typecasted because, like Miss Darbus, many thought I should switch to decaf. In my 3rd and final performance here, I was Ariel in The Little Mermaid Junior. I've grown so much over these past few years as a student, singer, speaker, and performer, because music really does have the power to change lives. With the help of our awesome chorus teacher and director, Miss Chapman. She's a teacher that we can go to with just about any problem, including math. Speaking of math, this brings me to my experience in Algebra 1 honors. Saying this class was difficult for me was an understatement. The greatest lesson I learned from that class, though, was perseverance. I just wanted to quit so many times, but I didn't. I still managed to make honor roll all year, and because I stuck it out the whole year, I will be able to move on to geometry next year. Speaking of next year, sometimes in life, our paths take us in different directions. This is the case for me. I'm sad to be leaving all you, but I'm excited to be starting my next adventure at Kimball Union Academy. I will especially miss my crazy friends. You know, the ones who always seem to say something ridiculous that you won't soon forget. Like the other day when I was walking through the hallway with Thea Cole. She suddenly stops and looks around and says, "You know, we're leaving this school in a couple days, and there are a lot of doors I haven't opened yet." And here I am thinking she meant it metaphorically. Nope, she was literally depressed over the number of doors she had not yet opened. Wouldn't it be great if our biggest worry was the number of doors we hadn't had the chance to open? But hey, only those who risk going too far can possibly find out how far they can go. T.S. Eliot. That is one of my two favorite quotes. Speaking of quotes, another one that often appears as the school year draws to a close is "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." This is by my favorite philosopher, Dr. Seuss. Other than one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, Dr. Seuss says some pretty fantastic things. Some of the best advice I got here is to be yourself, because every one of us came into this world being our own person. The greatest thing you can do is be yourself, because that's a gift no one can take away from you. So as we move on to high school, I challenge you to grow as a person, to be original, to be great, to lead, and to most importantly, be yourself. I'd like to close by leaving you with my other favorite quote, also by Dr. Seuss. "Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive that is youer than you." Thank you.